Oh my God, how stupid is that? Such a marvelous feat by the manufacturer to do this. There. Now here comes the second stupidest thing that they've ever done. And good afternoon, all you great ones out there. Today we're going to be doing, you've noticed that we've been doing a lot of work to the SRT lately, like not like performance or upgrades or anything like that, just a lot of repair work, maintenance and stuff like that. And the inside scoop on that is the reason why, now granted the water pump went out, that was a total failure, but we did some maintenance stuff while that was going on, you know, new belt, new idler, new tensioner, changed the coolant out and stuff like that. And truth be told, the reason we're doing a lot of maintenance stuff like this is we are getting ready for a 2-week road trip. No, we're not going to be taking the motorhome because well, it's still not back from the repair shop. Another story coming soon. But we're going to be headed up to Ohio. And as you know, we live in Southeast Texas where it's nice and relatively warm and we enjoy our 2 weeks of winter and boom, we're done, over with, back to summer and hot. But we are going to be headed up to Ohio over the Christmas holidays into New Year's, and we're going to be expecting a lot of really cold temperatures. It's supposed to snow on us the Monday and Tuesday. We're going to be there, and it's just going to be really cold. The SRT is a 2017, so it is 5 years old. And while we haven't been having a problem with the battery, it is 5 years old, and we have noticed lately when we remote start the SRT that it is doing a little bit of kind of grunting, you know what I mean? It's straining to get it to roll now. So it's 5 years old. I think the battery is time to be changed out. So I just wanted to get that done before we head to Ohio and get into some really cold temperatures and end up finding ourselves needing a battery in the parking lot of a hotel or wherever we're going to be at. So today, we're going to tackle changing the battery in a Grand Cherokee, which is a little bit of a feat of accomplishment in itself, as you'll see what I'm talking about. Alrighty, so with this being one of those new fancy dangled all electronic vehicles and everything like that, there's a lot of stuff inside there that's going on with battery voltage. You know, memories and storage and XM radio stuff, sat radio stuff, seats, heated power seats, memory, all kinds of junk going on inside these things that take power. And I don't know if this is the right way to do it, and I really don't care. It's just the way I'm going to do it, and I am not a professional mechanic, so don't follow my advice, but this is what we're going to do. We're just simply going to apply some power to the charging ports underneath the hood. Now, I'm sure if I was a professional mechanic, there's probably a lot of fancy dangled, fancy dancy tools out there that'll do this, like battery savers, for example. I don't know. But all we're going to do is we're just going to use a donor vehicle right here, and we're going to hook some jumper cables up through our charging ports here underneath the hood, and we're just going to borrow some electricity from another battery. Simple enough. That'll keep all our memory, our storage, anything like that from dropping out because technically we are always going to have voltage on the vehicle. Now that does lead to a whole nother problem though. As you know, or may not know, in the Grand Cherokees, the battery was installed in the most loveliest place that a manufacturer could ever install a battery, and that is underneath the front passenger seat. Yes. Oh my God, how stupid is that? Anyhow, the way we're going to access that is, first thing we're going to do is we're just going to tilt that seat all the way up. And we're going to move it all the way forward. There is a plastic snap tray underneath the seat that you have to pop out so that you can even access the battery to begin with underneath there. Again, such a marvelous feat by the manufacturer to do this. But anyway, the compartment is not too hard to access. It's right there underneath the seat. We're simply just going to pop this plastic cover out, get our fingers underneath it here as best we can somehow. That dude is tight to the floor. Anyway, we're just going to give it a little bit of a good pop. There we go. Got some clips on the front. Pop those out, take the cover out, and voila, the most stupidest location in the world you could ever put a battery. Now, just in case you needed to know, the instructions to replace the battery are underneath the lid. And I'm literally going to say the first thing it says is remove battery cover. I'm trying to figure out how you would know that since it's in there like this and you can't see the instructions. Whatever. I don't know. Anyway, there it is. Let's grab some tools. We'll start getting some things disconnected and we'll figure out how to drag that heavy dude out of there. All right, so let's get started pulling this dude out. So all we're going to need here is a few tools. All right, so on these batteries, with this being inside the car, they do have an external vent right here on the battery. So we're going to start out by pulling that out, just like that. There's also a battery hold down, which is just straight down in here. There's two studs, one on the left here, one on the right here. They're pointing straight up, and those are 13 millimeter. So we're just going to reach down in there and get those loose. And I suppose they're kind of like a locking nut, interference nut, because they are tight all the way off. I'm assuming they do that for some kind of vibration purposes or whatever. One, and another one over here on the right. Two. One battery hold down clamp. And there she be. All right, so we'll go ahead and get the negative terminal off here right quick. And that is just a 10 millimeter. And with it being the negative, we're just going to tuck it right up underneath this rail right here to hold it out of the way. All right. Now what we can do is we can slide this one back a little bit, just like that. So we have access to the front terminal, and we're going to move around to the front, slide the seat back, and we can access that one. Easy peasy. That's the good thing about having power to the vehicle. Even though we got the battery disconnected, we can still operate everything and gain us a lot of easy access to the front of the battery here. All right, same thing. We'll get the positive terminal popped off there. And again, I don't know if this is the right way to do it or not, but it is the way we're going to do it. Once I pop this positive terminal off here, I have just some foam here. And we're gonna wrap that terminal up and protect it so that it doesn't get up against anything while we're dragging the battery out of there. Just like that. We're gonna wrap some foam around it and tape it all up really nice. And again, I'm sure they make a fancy dancy tool like this for professional mechanics, but I'm not a professional. I'm just a working class guy that hangs around and tries to do as much of my own work as possible. And this is what we're gonna do. So we ended up with a very well protected positive battery cable that will not arc up against anything. All right, so we've got the front cable off, all taped up, protected up with the foam there, and we've slid the seat all the way back to the forward position. And now for the fun part, to drag this heavy dude out of there. Off there. Now here comes the second stupidest thing that they've ever done besides putting the battery underneath the seat to begin with. On the SRT, I cannot speak for the regular Grand Cherokee because I do not know. Maybe somebody does. On the SRT, the battery is too big to slide out of the compartment once the seat is all the way forward. I don't know if it's the same battery in the regular Grand Cherokee or not, but it will not come out from underneath the seat, just so you know. You have to take the seat loose to get the dang battery out. Come on, the stupidest thing in the world to begin with, to put it underneath there, plus you have to take the seat loose. But anyway, nevertheless, like I say, on the SRT, we are going to have to take the seat loose. It's not a big deal. It's not hard at all. It's literally 2 bolts and 2 nuts. Just take your little screwdriver, pop the cover off. There's a bolt here, a bolt over there. Same thing on the back. Just pop the covers off. Right here, right there. There's a nut under there, a nut under there, 15 millimeter. Anyway, we're going to... All right, so we moved the seat forward, and now all we gotta do is drag that heavy dude out of there. Just like that. All right, so we got our factory battery out of there, and like I say, it still starts the Jeep okay. It's just, it's starting to get where it kind of labors to start it. But anyway, we got a new one here, all $229 worth of it. Oh my God, is that insane or what? So we looked at this battery just out of curiosity. 2 years ago, this battery was $179. I don't know what's changed since then, but for some reason it's $229 now. 2 years ago it was $179, but whatever. But anyway, we're just going to reverse it. We'll slide that dude right back in there, and we'll put it back together in reverse order. All right, so this is a universal fit battery, right? Because it's just an aftermarket battery. But remember to orient it back in right, so your positive terminal has to go to the front. Now remember, when we first started, we pulled the vent line out of that little hole right there that you see right here. And again, this is a universal battery, so it technically has a breather hole on both ends. So all we're going to do is we're just going to cover up this opposite end so that all the fumes and stuff will go out the actual breather tube. So we're just going to simply cover that one up, seal it up real good, and that way everything will vent out of the factory vent tube. Now all we gotta do is slide that dude right back down in there somehow. Like that, and push it all the way forward. Make sure it's all the way forward. One battery. There we go. So we'll get our bracket back down in there. We will hook our vent tube back up. We'll start getting our cables back on there. We'll get the seat put back on there, and we'll be in business, right? Put our vent tube back in, just like that. Get our negative terminal hooked back up, just like that. Again, just a 10 millimeter. snug it up, not trying to bury it and break it off. All right, now we'll get our seat put back in place. All right, we'll hop around to the front and we'll get those bolts put back in, and then we'll get our positive cable hooked back up. Gotta take the whole seat out.
To the battery?
Yep.
Why?
Because they're stupid. That's why. I don't know why I keep saying nuts and bolts backwards. The front is bolts. I'm still bewildering this stupidness of having to take the seat out, plus putting a battery underneath the seat to begin with.
Did you already take it out?
I've already changed it. All right, go ahead and tighten those back up. Don't forget to put your covers back on. All right, so all we're gonna do is tighten up the back ones. Would you move the seat forward, please? There we go. Now we can just move it back and we'll hook up the front cable. All right, we'll just undo our redneck tape job and foam job here. Again, I'm sure professional mechanics probably have fancy tools to do this with. Get our foam back off of there and hook our cable back up. Don't forget to tighten it back up. Alrighty, all that's left now is we'll just move the seat back up. We'll pop our cover back on there, and one 2017 Grand Cherokee SRT battery job complete. And again, if it wasn't for all the stupid engineering of putting the thing underneath the front seat to begin with, it would be a relatively simple job, honestly. But that's it for now. We got the battery changed. Peace of mind going into some cold weather that we'll have a nice fresh new battery. So thanks for watching. Again, I'm not a professional mechanic, so don't follow my advice if you don't want to. Deem your own, and we will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.